Hello, my name is Jacqueline and I'm debating the lens bias law, and I'm taking the position against the lens bias law. Lens bias law, also known as Anti-Drug Abuse Act of 1986, which was signed by Ronald Reagan. This law was signed after Lens Bias, an NBA player, died of a fatal heart attack due to a cocaine overdose. This law can lead to life sentences for people who deal with drugs to someone who dies of using them. There are 3 levels of penalties for the drug convictions. States have passed their own version of the lens bias law when convicting people of state drug distribution offenses. Criticism regarding this law is that some people feel that this is punishing the wrong person by punishing the drug dealer on the street and not the drug boss above them. I agree with this criticism regarding the lens bias law. If an individual seeks out a scheduled drug, they are paying for an experience that comes with risks. They should be taking these drugs with caution, and once they make the transaction with the drug dealer, they should be held accountable for anything that happens after. The drug dealer's first intent was not to kill someone. Law should be created to protect the public. When looking at the lens bias law, which is giving the individual who distributed drugs to someone who died as a result of taking them a 5 to 40-year sentence with no chance of parole or bail, depending on the state or jury, this again is not going to solve the main problem, which is, where are the drugs coming from? The drug lord is the one who is responsible for distributing the drugs and to the street dealers. If the drug lord is taken out of the picture, then the street dealers will not have any product to sell. The United States spends over $52 billion annually on incarceration, despite evidence that mass incarceration's positive effects on public safety have been minimal. The amount of money being spent on incarceration is wasteful if it is not going to solve the root of the problem. The sentence that is being created to lock the street dealer up for life should be directed at the drug lord. Incarcerating the street drug dealer for indirectly killing someone from drugs they sold is only a temporary fix. Many states began to follow Congress's choices to make their drug law punishments more severe. Although many states have passed their own version of the law, the substance in question must be a Schedule I or Schedule II controlled substance. The state of Wisconsin, for example, has made the following rules when convicting someone for a state drug offense. 1. The defendant delivered a substance. 2. The substance was controlled. 3. The defendant knew or believes that the substance was controlled. And 4. The victim used the substance alleged to have been delivered by the defendant and died as a result of that use. While looking at these laws in place that are initially intended to slow the international drug trafficking and increase federal support, treatment, and rehabilitation of drug abuse, it leads back to the criticism of the wrong person is being punished. Although it was this person who delivered the substance who was the one who trafficked the drugs to be distributed to the streets. If they continue to convict the dealer on the street, the individual who sold to the street dealer will only find someone else to deal their drugs for them. The individuals who are selling on the streets should not be the scapegoat for the real issue at hand. The main issue stems from the lack of knowledge and rehabilitation offered by the surrounding communities of the customers who purchase these street drugs. Why are people buying these drugs to begin with? And why are these drugs being made and trafficked to begin with? The street dealer, who is only the middleman to the problem, is the only person who is being punished for an issue that stems way beyond their control. The criminal justice system searches for someone guilty of a crime committed, but I believe that they must look further than the street drug dealer who they've been trying to convict and focus on where the problem begins if they truly want justice to be served. In conclusion, I believe that the lens bias law should be abolished and that this problem that the law is trying to fix needs to be reevaluated and directed at the root of the problem, which is the lack of knowledge and rehabilitation offered by the surrounding communities of the customers who purchase these street drugs and the drug lords who are responsible for distributing to the street dealers.